Hi, and welcome to View, the Digital View podcast for the week of Wednesday, February 15th, 2012. I'm Curtis Paradis.
I'm Brett McPhee.
I'm Jordan Murdock.
Gage Fletcher.
View is all about bringing you our view of the digital world around us, from music, movies, TV shows, video games, and gadgets. So we're back again with another week full of news, all about the stuff that we really care about. And this week there's a big topic that we should really kick off with. This has to do with music, and it is the death of Whitney Houston. So your opinions on this? Of course, I'm not a very big Whitney Houston fan, but if you are, what's your opinions?
Well, I think Jordan's probably most crushed by this. I know he's a pretty big Whitney Houston fan. He's had I Will Always Love You cranked all day, giving me googly eyes. So.
Well, I'm totally devastated by this. Totally devastated.
I don't know if this one actually comes as a huge shock like other celebrity deaths often do. I mean, she's had a pretty public struggle with drug use and domestic violence and stuff. So
that's true.
I'd like to tell you it was a shock, but I don't know if anyone really is by this one.
No, not me.
It's unfortunate to see that it happened, but she
feel
follows
bad.
like the reign of like other celebrities too. Like death by drugs is not really new for people like that, especially at the age. Like, what was she, 48, I believe?
48 she was, yep.
So, you know, she's still pretty young.
Did they release the autopsy details or?
I don't actually know
the
if
cause
it's
of death. I think like everyone, you just assumed it was drug related, but
I'm sure it played at least a little bit of a role in it. I mean, it's not good for your body. So
yeah, she was found in a bathtub, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah,
like I don't unless she drowned. I don't really know what and like why would you? I couldn't see her drowning in a bathtub, like not her. So. No, there's no like autopsy that's been released yet or anything, so we'll have to see what happens there. But very unfortunate. They did talk about it at the Grammys, but unfortunately I didn't watch the Grammys, so
I missed the Grammys too. I heard the Foo Fighters cleaned up. That's what I heard about the Grammys.
Maybe I'll have to watch that another time.
You know, I was just thinking about the Whitney Houston death, and you know, like she hasn't really put out any new music for quite some time now.
I haven't heard
just
anything about it.
Yeah, that's
extremely talented woman, and I mean, great looking. I don't know if you've ever watched the movie The Bodyguard with her and Kevin Costner there, but it was, you know, it's a pretty decent movie, I guess, and she just looks fantastic in it and plays this singer who needs the bodyguard and stuff, and she's just such a talented person, and she just kind of, you know, just wasted it really.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see that she passed so early. But I don't know. That's all that I can say about Whitney.
I don't think that she had a really up and down relationship with Bobby Brown, who was in the music industry too. He had a couple hits. I don't know exactly any off the top of my head,
I don't remember any. No,
I'm pretty sure Bobby Brown's more famous for
beating her,
the domestic violence thing.
Which is
you know,
very unfortunate.
Yeah, they're kind of a modern day Ike and Tina Turner, I guess. But Tina came out a little luckier than Whitney Houston in this one, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She'll always have my favorite song or favorite version of that Dolly Parton song, like we were talking earlier.
Yeah, I Will Always Love You.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a great song.
Good song.
I'd try to sing it right now, but it's kind of out of my vocal range. So.
I think that's probably something you have in common with everyone.
No, I'm not even gonna. I'll spare your ears.
Ouch. Well, okay, we move on from that. That's all we really have to talk about with music. So we move into TV shows. The Walking Dead season 2. I don't know. I just have 2.5.
It's season 2.
Is it 2? But it's the second half, right?
It's the second half of 2.
Okay. Enlighten us to how it works, because I still have not seen any of them.
Well, I think like this whole mid-season finale, mid-season premiere, I think it started with Battlestar Galactica, and that's a stupid idea in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like it's. Well, yeah, I guess a lot of shows have they have that like separate part in the middle where they just like go on break for a bit and they're right in the middle of the season.
It just doesn't make sense.
Just I also find just in like episodes, you know, in a season there used to be, you know, 40, 50 episodes of a show in a season. Now 8 episodes and there it's pumped out on DVD, and you've hardly got any footage of anything.
Yeah.
So. Plus actors and stuff are making more nowadays than ever and do less work.
Yeah. First season of Power Rangers, this is just a random thing. Like it has like 60 episodes or something like that. Just like
Really?
an insane amount of episodes.
It's funny that you brought up Power Rangers because I actually was watching Power Rangers just this weekend. I realize this is off topic and I apologize, but
It's so
you're
good.
watching this and you're like, what made you watch this as a kid? This is horrible.
The
Like,
cheesy explosions.
Oh,
and
I remember
everything.
thinking it was so awesome and just getting in trouble constantly for pretending to be a Red Ranger and that,
Red Ranger?
my siblings were putties and, you give them the old one too. It was just,
Francisco's around
and I wasn't the
beating
only
them up.
kid. Like, people had an extreme problem with Power Rangers. Parents hated Power Rangers. I knew lots of my friends who, like, were not allowed to watch that. And it's just ridiculous.
too
When you
violent.
watch it now, you're like, why wouldn't you be allowed to watch this? This is not
Well,
scary
compared
at
to the
all.
stuff on
or-
TV now, like.
Well, the
That's
other funny thing about
Like
that
The
is
Walking Dead.
they have 60. I know that we're talking about Power Rangers, but it's just
Yeah,
so
that's
funny.
okay. Let's-
There's 60 episodes of it, but you know what happens every freaking episode. There's a bad guy. They can't beat him. He turns big. They go into the Megazord. They win. Episode's over. Bulk and Skull are funny, and it's just
You
it's just
actually
a great
know
show.
their names. Bulk and Skull are hilarious. Oh man, that's bad,
it's like
man. You
built
watched way
into
too many
Gage's
episodes of
brain.
that show.
Yeah, I'm not.
I just
gonna
like
lie.
how on that show they're also kind of like they're also semi-racist. I mean, the Black Ranger is ironically, a black guy.
Yeah, that's
The Yellow Ranger is an Asian woman.
That
I
is
mean,
something they would never ever do.
Oh,
that the
they
pink
would
the
never
pink
do
one
that
is
now.
of course a girl. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, of
like
course.
it's
Blue
it's
is
just,
some blue-eyed, blonde-haired,
He's-
borderline Aryan.
Yeah, it's just something they wouldn't do nowadays. They try to steer away from that.
I like how it plot twists too in that show. Green Ranger is now White Ranger.
Yeah,
And everyone's like White Ranger product sales went through the roof.
Yes.
You should probably jump off Power Rangers topic, I guess. That was
Can
like
we,
5 minutes
can
of
we,
ranting.
can we like, so anyway, we were talking about The Walking Dead, but then that didn't happen.
I don't even know how that
Yeah,
got
like,
to.
how did we get to? Okay. Anyway, let's get back into The Walking Dead because the second half of the second season started.
The
Anyway,
second half of the second season
Right.
started this Sunday, and for me, it was pretty awesome. Like the first half of like the second season was just kind of dragging along,
right.
and the last episode of the first half, if that makes sense, had
Oh,
some
right, okay.
had some pretty good moments, and it was just like I think the best episode of the first half. Then this first episode of the second half was just, I think it was phenomenal compared to.
So you think like the franchise is still going strong, or like are they?
I think if it keeps up this pace that it's at right now,
Right.
from this first episode, I think it'll be as good as the first season,
Okay,
which
well,
was
that's good.
which was phenomenal. If you like zombies, check that show out because.
See, I'm not much of a zombie person, so that's why I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go.
It's
like.
actually pretty decent. Like,
Is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a good
definitely
drama.
like it. Yeah.
It's a good drama.
How long do you foresee a show like this going on? Like you said,
That's
it's still
true.
pretty good a season in, but is it kind of a thing that has any long-term potential, or is it just kind of maybe a 3-season we're done type deal?
That's a good question. I think that it could possibly go further because it is a comic first before it was a show.
Oh, really?
So like they have a lot of material to work with. So like I think they could go longer if they want to, and I would like it. Like I'm a pretty big fan of zombies. Earlier, like a couple years ago or last year even, I think I was still kind of terrified of the thought, but now I've kind of grown accustomed to them. It's weird.
Zombies.
It all starts with Call of Duty Zombies.
Oh god.
I was going to ask you,
Classic game.
out of zombie flicks or shows, series have you seen, could you pick a favorite one?
Oh, that's another tough one.
Shaun
Well,
of the Dead.
Shaun of the
Shaun-
Dead is great.
I
It's
thought
so
Shaun of
funny.
the Dead was pretty funny. I believe there's a scene in that where they've got their snipers out or whatever, and they're trying to pick out celebrity zombies, and one guy fires off, and he's like points Burt Reynolds, boom, there goes Burt, and I think Rosie O'Donnell gets shot too. So
Oh, poor Rosie.
it was pretty funny. I thought that one was likely my favorite zombie movie too.
I love that
That's got to be
British
something
humor.
else. That's got to be something else.
Okay,
I
wait,
don't
what-
remember that.
What movie was that?
And I own that movie.
And maybe it's the original Dawn of the Dead that I saw that
Oh,
on, where they're
maybe.
doing it.
That could be it.
It was one of the two. I got them confused.
We might have to have a
guess,
DeView movie night or something and watch that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Zombieland
I'd
is
be
also
down.
good.
Zombieland
That's
is
a good
very
movie.
good. I just love Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson's been good in everything I can possibly think
His
of.
character in that movie was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
he's just so funny.
Just searching for Twinkies all the time. And
What
just,
are
like obsessive about these Twinkies. I like how they had the girls trick them in that movie too. You know, like here's these two innocent girls, damsels in distress, and all of a sudden they're holding them up, and you know. They
Taking
totally
their
trick
vehicles
these
and
guys
whatnot.
repeatedly, you know. So I think it just kind of shattered that whole damsel in distress image that you see in a lot of movies. Like these chicks are smart,
In
you
a
know.
zombie apocalypse, you don't fall for the damsel.
No, stay away.
Because she's gonna have a gun and she's gonna try to take your vehicle.
no matter how cute that smile is, eh?
I also watched the Walking Dead season 1 webisodes, which are kind of terrible, but they tell a backstory for a certain zombie in the first season.
Right.
And there's this scene where this one girl tries to give CPR to a zombie. She doesn't know it's a zombie at first,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's
Because
pretty.
I was gonna say, how
That's
did
just
you
a
do
bad
that?
idea. I don't think CPR is gonna bring the
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
it,
like-
it was bad. The zombie starts like chomping on her tongue, and
Oh.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty.
My
gruesome.
question for that
That's
is why was her
nasty.
tongue out of her mouth? That's not how you do CPR. At least not in my
Hey,
training.
She went in thinking CPR and started having a little fun once she got there. There's no problem with that. He won't remember.
That's true. Because he's undead.
zombie. It's-
I don't know. I still don't know what their classification is for zombies.
Undead?
Well, so last time I said they were dead, and then Jordan's like, "Well, they're not dead. They're kind of like undead."
Oh, I guess some people said and told us before too, like they're reanimated or it's an infection. Like it could be so many different ways depending on how people.
Well, the other thing is it's
Describe
not
it.
real, so it could be really
That's
anything
true.
because it's completely fictional. Although I'm sure some of our viewers might be upset because they'll just be so sold on the fact that it's
It
a
could
real
be
thing. I've
reanimated.
met people who are like, "Oh yeah, the zombocalypse, it's gonna happen. Maybe
The
2012.
The
2012 is the
zombocalypse?
year."
What's with all these
Zombocalypse?
impending apocalypses and stuff coming up?
This has been-
you got end of the world noises and zombocalypse. Like, you know, should I be
think-
scared of this? Should I
I
be
kind
worried?
of like the zompocalypse. I think we need to get like shirts for that or something.
I kinda like
Zombocalypse.
the zomb-
On the front, it says something about like the Mayan calendar. It's like, no, it's the zompocalypse.
if the end of the world or whatever is coming up, I say that might be the most interesting of the possible apocalypse scenarios. You know, like the rest
Only-
are kind of like, whoa, global warming will get
Only
us.
if
That's
it's
not that scary.
Only
you
if
know?
it's the slow zombies. You know, you get in like
Oh,
Resident
yeah.
Evil, which is another good kind of zombie movie. The running zombies or the dog zombies that can run. Like I don't like zombies that can run. I want something slow and just stupid and just like
You can like slow
Only-
walk away from them.
yeah, just
Like,
stand
yeah,
on a
right.
roof and they'll never get up to
You
you.
you
can't
want the
slow walk away from
Frankenstein
numerous
arms out
ones,
type
though.
zombie. Eh?
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true, I guess.
Like if there are a lot of slow moving zombies, like I think you can kiss your life goodbye at that point. Like
No, then you just become a zombie and then you're like undead. You still kind of have a life. You
Yeah.
just like brains a lot.
You can go start a zombie family and stuff. I guess I don't know.
Have a
I
wife,
don't- I don't know
zombie
what
You're like,
it is.
oh, now I'm a zombie. Well, let's
I
go
guess
and
I
start.
want to settle down.
Yeah, I guess it's time to settle down. Have a couple of. Can you have kids? It's
Zom
probably
kids,
not.
probably
I've been a zombie a while now, you know. This kind of partying zombie life is tiring me out here. I'll just start a little zombie family. We better get off that.
I just like
Yeah.
picture like a zombie coming in the door and be like, "Honey, I'm home." And it's like, and like she like limps through the door and her like leg is like dragging, and it's just like,
Just
oh,
the-
Just the Al Bundy type
Yeah.
zombie dad comes in. You know, the wife takes money out of his pocket, so do the kids, and he just sits there depressed, you know.
Oh no,
cracks a
he has
beer.
to like he's like, oh, I brought food, and there's like a leg. He like pulls out like a leg.
or brains.
Yeah, some brains.
So that kind of reminded me of that other. Do you guys? This is off topic again, but do you guys remember that? It was a show with dinosaurs. It was kind of like
I
well,
know
Michael
which one.
Jacobs. Or,
it was just called. I'm pretty sure it was just
Jim
called
Henson.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, it was called
wasn't it?
Dinosaurs. And the dad, he's a dad dinosaur, and he comes in and he's wearing this plaid jacket. He kind of looks like John Goodman off of Roseanne.
It reminds me of Roseanne.
I think that might have been the
That's-
angle they took with that too, but it's such a funny show. I honestly just love it. It makes fun
The
of
baby-
everything. Like
The baby with the frying pan just always hits the
mama.
Yeah.
I love that show. I just thought I would, we should
You're
maybe
just
discuss
rekindling
that
your
show.
youth
Yeah,
all over the
we're
place.
totally rekindling our youth.
Oh god. Okay.
And so Pokemon? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
please,
get it out of
no,
here.
no.
Yeah, let's not go there.
You know what we should? Okay, this is one other thing we actually have on our script. 2.5 Men. We should talk about Charlie Sheen's replacement. Everyone's thoughts on this because Ashton Kutcher's been there for a
little while now.
so we kind of get like a average thought on it. My thought and the big thing that I still don't understand. I've watched like the first episode when. What's the new character's name? Does he?
It
question.
starts
I
with a W.
I don't know.
Was it
Willis? Wallace?
Wallace?
I always just imagine it's just Kelso in a different
Yeah, he's
different
always
show.
Kelso to me too.
Okay, quote unquote Kelso. So now he owns like the house that Charlie used to have, but yet
Walden.
Walden,
Yeah,
that's what it is. But yet Alan still gets to live there.
It doesn't make any
Like, it
sense.
doesn't
I don't
make
know
any
how they
sense.
wrote that in
Like
either.
they wrote it, and I was watching it, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. No stranger is gonna be like, yeah, random person who used to live in this house. Like you can come and still live.
Well,
in it.
he's got a kid. Maybe Walden's just nice about it and just like, yeah, it's a big house.
The
you
kid's
keep
not a
living
kid
here.
anymore. The
kid
kid should
is-
have his own
Jake.
own apartment by now. That kid's huge. Have you seen him on?
Yeah,
episode
he hit a
like-
growth spurt or something. Like he went from this little tubby little kid, and now he's just this tall, slender
it should
young
not
man.
be 2.5 Men. It should be 3 Men.
Yeah,
not as-
3 men
he's-
straight
He was
up.
kind of a funny looking kid too, and I always kind of thought he'd turn into a real funny looking adult, but he kind of grew into his looks.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess. He's not
absolutely.
that bad looking of a guy. But
Harshing on the kid.
yeah, with Kelso coming in, I thought if they were gonna get a replacement, you can see how they would go for a guy like Kelso
I agree,
because
yeah.
he kind of fits that
Yeah.
kind of womanizer, I guess.
Yeah.
kinda
That's true.
Mold, I guess, but.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
pers-
know. Something's not as appealing about it to me. I guess maybe because they built that whole show kind of around Charlie Sheen.
That's true.
And once
yeah.
you get rid of him, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess
it's
viewership,
really hard.
people disagree. I mean,
I guess
viewership
it's
is
true.
Oh, yeah.
up since Kelso's
I
joined,
honestly-
and he's signing on for another couple years or something.
I honestly
so-
was never a big fan of Charlie Sheen. I always thought he was kind of just, I don't know, he's just boring to watch. He never really struck me as that funny of a guy, But I think Ashton Kutcher, I could have dealt with him throughout the whole series. Like I was never really interested in 2.5 Men
Yeah.
until now.
Charlie Sheen was actually pretty good in that Hot Shots series, though.
Hot shot.
Hot shot.
Those, I think it's a movie series. It's basically parodies. I can't remember what the movie is right now, but it's like a pilot kind of film. Has nobody ever seen that one here?
Oh,
I have not seen
Is
Hot
that where
Shot.
he like flies planes, right? And he's
It's
oh,
it's
no,
a
I
parody
don't- I
movie.
think I'm
Anyway,
thinking
we
of-
should probably check that out sometime.
Okay, well,
He's
we'll find
pretty
that.
good in
We'll
that
have to
one.
have a viewing night for sure.
Oh, is he like?
So-
Does he
so-
play like some sort of fighter in one segment of that
Yeah.
or something? Okay, I've seen part of it. I've seen that where they kind of do a Jean-Claude Van Damme sort of take on like where he's some fighter for a while or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
actually,
kind of
I'm
weird.
just thinking about that scene right now, and yeah, that's pretty funny.
He's got
so
his
good.
mullet and he just kind of
Yeah.
a headband on.
He's like kicks a guy's in the crotch or something, and he like spits up walnuts or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Walnuts.
Walnuts.
Oh, walnuts. Okay.
Wallets.
I was like, wallets? I'm like, what? Are they full of money? No, I'm
Anyway,
kidding.
good Charlie Sheen movie.
Okay, good one. So we move on now to gadgets. Again, I think this has been like the third time it's been on here.
Yeah.
Jordan continues to add it to our list, which is the PS Vita.
I
I'm
just
so stoked.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
excited.
need to discuss
Wait.
this.
Yeah, one question. Are you gonna buy one?
I'm going to buy one eventually. Like
okay.
with the money.
Wait, are you gonna get it with the 3G connection? Because it's got like so you can game like 24 hours a day and like you
I-
can do that.
I like that idea of getting the 3G model, but
Right. You'll just get.
I'm not
Wi-Fi.
too sure if I want to pay for the 3G connection, which I think you might have to. Which
yeah, maybe.
is just kind of another expense for me.
That's true.
Whatever, But like, I would buy the game because like, I don't know, it just looks so cool. Like this is the
It is like a new, like it's a cool device. Like it still looks to me, it still looks a lot like the PSP, not the P Slim or whatever was it? What was it?
it's
the
just
mini-
a PSP Slim, I think.
Yeah, the slim one that was.
Or
like,
the Go.
That's what I'm thinking of. The Go, which was, it had like the slide out keyboard. It doesn't look like that one. It looks like the PSP original
Yeah.
one. But yeah, it's got 2 analog sticks, which I think the first one only had 1.
Yeah,
And then
only
the
had 1.
Touch.
It
the
seems a
back touch
lot.
panel.
It seems a lot smaller too. Like it's not like the
think
PSP was
maybe.
huge, wasn't it?
So
I
what?
think
Yeah,
this
the
one is
PSP
actually bigger. I think.
Oh, really?
Bigger,
Yeah, ask
really.
what are the differences between the last system PlayStation came out and this one, and what are we looking at for price range initially when this thing comes out?
It's compared to the PlayStation Portable.
Yeah.
It has much more processing power. So like it actually looks like very close to PlayStation 3 quality graphics, which is
Yeah. Which
is
amazing
unreal.
for
Yeah.
amazing for a handheld.
Oh yeah, like it's such a small little device.
And I think for and the dual analogs, like the first PlayStation only had the one analog stick. This time you have two, so you can actually play first-person shooters much better. And for pricing, I believe it starts off at $300 ish.
That makes sense because it's more. It's not a professional, but it's like a pro gaming system. Unlike, I would call like the DS being like more like the.
I think that's like a very very family-friendly consumer kind of thing. I think this handheld I think is going to get a lot more of the hardcore gamers.
Is there going to be movie
attention.
releases on it or anything? Like, didn't PSP have that?
I think.
Or they
the
tried
PSP
it or
had
something?
like the little cartridges, right? And I think the Vita it doesn't look like it has a cartridge on the back. I'm pretty sure it's download only, right?
I think it might be
So
download
they're taking
only.
that from like the Go, because the Go was download only.
Oh, what was the other thing you said that you have to buy like a memory card or something?
Yeah,
for
it's a
it?
proprietary memory card, so like
that adds another how much to the cost?
I think.
Wait, what's it got built in right off the bat? Like,
I don't think it has any built-in.
Oh, great! That's awesome.
For shame.
No doubt.
For shame.
Great.
Yes, shame on you.
Where am I going to store my games?
Anyway, the 32 gig proprietary Sony Vita card I think is like $130 something bucks
For 16?
for 32 gigs.
Oh, for 32. That's
expensive.
Yeah.
And it's
Very
stupid idea.
So 32 and come in 64 or anything
think-
smaller, anything bigger?
I think 32 is the biggest that they have at this point.
So
But
maybe
who knows? That might change by launch, which
yeah.
is like
maybe if
next
this
weekish.
isn't for you, maybe iPad 3.
Oh yeah, we can move into that. The iPad 3. That is, rumors are saying that it'll be either the end of the month or next month that Apple will be having their event, which is normal. Usually they have their event in March or April to actually announce it, and then the device itself will become available 2 or 3 months later. So I don't know. I'm the only one who has an iPad in here.
Are you gonna buy this
No.
iPad 3?
No.
So you're not gonna sell me your old one?
If you want to buy it.
That's what I was thinking about when he was talking about, when I asked about the prices of consoles and that the Vita that's coming out there.
Yeah, it's-
if you just stayed like a couple years behind
that's
each
what I do.
system,
That's
you get
what I do.
each system cheap, and it's always
Absolutely.
new to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm behind. Like I was playing Super Nintendo when everybody else was playing N64, and I loved it. I
So
So
enjoyed
you've
it.
constantly stayed that 2 to 3 years
I'm
behind
currently on the
everyone else,
GameCube,
eh?
and I'm playing it.
Oh,
and
man.
it's great.
Oh god.
I
Smash
have
Bros all day.
newfound respect for you. That's just like a smart. Obviously you're 3 years behind everyone, but you don't care, right?
I don't care, and I'm not really 3 years behind. Like I still stay up to date with all the technology.
Yeah.
Like I love technology. It's just that I don't own
Own
any of the
one,
new
yeah. It's
stuff.
not that you don't play them,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah.
But so the 3 will be coming out. I don't plan on upgrading. I love my 2. I think it works great. 3 will have a higher resolution display, just like the iPhone, so it'll have the same resolution, which is really nice. I actually do wish I had that on the iPad 2. Cameras will be upgraded because the cameras on the 2 are crappy. They are so ugly. Like my iPhone has like way better cameras, and you would think
That's
that
really weird.
the bigger device would have like better cameras. No, they are so bad.
They just said to hell with the cameras.
Yeah, and I don't know, like the battery life will probably improve, but again, like the battery life on this thing's great. Like lasts like 2 or 3 days, so I don't really see there's a big jump. It's gonna look basically the same too. Like bodies have been like bodies. That sounds really weird. The aluminum shell of them have been like found or leaked, and they look the exact same, just with bigger camera holes and such. So I don't know, not that big of an upgrade. But if you're waiting to buy one, don't buy an iPad 2 right now because I just think that's kind of a stupid choice.
Or maybe wait
what
until
if
this
I-
new one comes out,
Yeah,
then buy the
and
iPad
then buy
2.
the 2. You can buy my 2. It'll be on eBay. No, I'm kidding.
insert link right here.
Insert link here. So we move on to.
I have a question about this, the iPads.
Yeah, of
'cause
course.
we have another topic. Does the iPad come with the headphones or whatever?
No, see, that's actually one really funny thing. They don't come with headphones. So, like, unlike their like iPhone or the iPods or anything, they don't come with the crappy Apple earbuds. So
This is one thing that I wanted to touch on today.
Okay.
Just about how bad the iPod.
They suck.
you're not
Headphones
alone.
They really are.
Like, does anybody like them?
Well,
No.
I got a
Nobody.
pair with my phone. They're literally still in the case, like wrapped up in the original.
don't
thing.
even bother
I've
with
never
them.
touched them. I'm like, God, they're gross. Now,
I
mind
find
you,
They hurt.
sorry.
Yep.
They hurt your
They
ears.
do. They hurt after you put them in for a while. Now, mind you, it has like the little mic and stuff in it, but I really don't care. Like,
Who cares about
that's
the mic?
not my thing. So, I don't
I
know.
find also if you ever have to go buy a new set of earbuds, the chances of them actually working on the device you have is next to none. Like I don't know if you guys have had that experience, but I know my brother he went out and bought 3 separate sets of headphones, and none of them were compliable to his
That's
iPod.
unfortunate.
That's weird.
It was
That is
very
weird.
weird.
I don't know. I always buy the skull candies. What do you
The skull
have?
candies
You have
I
a-
buy the skull candies.
You buy the skull candies too. I don't know. I just like them. They feel really good. They got the good little.
They're cheap too. They're
gels.
like $14, and you can get like insurance on them or whatever they call
exactly.
it. And
The base
basically, what it
response
is if it breaks, they give you new ones, and
Yeah,
that's
it's like-
that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
The
For
bass
3 years.
response from them, like from
Oh,
being
yeah.
headphones, is nice too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They are pretty good.
Pretty
So
good.
we can move into movies now. Do we want to
Okay.
touch on number 1, or should we skip to just number 2?
Some people might be.
Okay, number 1 is Twilight. Twilight just came out. I'm
It
really
says
excited to watch
Twilight.
it. Blah, blah,
It says
blah, blah.
bleh right beside it.
I put that there.
Notice how when we were talking about zombie and vampire movies or whatever, no one
yeah.
mentioned Twilight as one of their favorites. And I guess that's vampire.
Okay, even though I watch it, that's not my favorite. I just still watch it.
I might watch it tonight, but that's
The new
only
Twilight
to
movie?
criticize the story.
next
You've got to
because-
stay up to date so you can criticize it.
Do you stay up to date in these
Oh,
Twilights
yeah.
that come out? Yeah.
Yeah, I do, but like I'm not like a big fan of it. I'm like, okay, I'll go watch it. I was more of a fan of Harry Potter than Twilight. Oops, I swore a little bit right there. Oh, well.
We'll bleep that out later.
We'll have to bleep that. Bleep.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway,
I just
Now
love
that
how
we
you
brought
note that
attention
my
to that.
rules.
The
Yeah,
only time we have to edit out stuff most of the time is because of Curtis. Eh?
and I'm the one who
He's
writes the
supposed to be
rules.
most professional.
I was going to say something. I was going to be like, but then I couldn't because again I'd have to bleep another thing. Anyway, let's go into this. Anyway, Twilight. It's out on DVD. You go and buy it, or don't buy it, or
Buy it to burn it.
yeah, you could do
To
that.
burn it for your friends, for your younger friends that you know that like Twilight.
No,
And by burn it, I mean like burn copies of it and sell it.
so that they can't make any more. After this.
Hopefully, put them out of business.
Yeah. Okay, so we're attempting to take down Universal now, I think, but that's okay.
So if anybody out there is willing to help me with this,
Contact
You know my
Gage.
Twitter.
Yeah, you know his Twitter. Okay, so with like less than 3 minutes left, let's at least get to these other ones, which is Chronicle. I'm pretty excited about this. I haven't seen
It
it
looks
yet.
sweet.
we need to go see this. I think.
So we
I
have
wanna go see
okay.
it
So we
too.
have to have we have a big movie night going on. But yeah, I want to go and see this. It's really cool. 3 at least from the trailer. That's all I have to go by. 3 guys. They have like kind of like superpowers, telekinesis thing, whatever. And I think it's cool. Kind of like good versus evil. One turns
Yeah, like
evil, and
well,
then the other 2 are,
they're pitted with this dilemma on what they should use their
Yeah.
powers for because they say they shouldn't be using them, and then the one guy does something bad, and then he gets overwhelmed with that power. I guess just having that choice to. If somebody's beaking him or something, he can shut them up real nice.
Yeah, it seems like they get in more into the morality of
Yeah.
possessing that much powers or
Yeah.
whatever.
I think it's
which
cool.
is a
I
lot
think it could-
different than lots of other superpower movies.
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
I think it's a cool thing to present in a movie, and if they really focus on that whole dilemma, I think it'd make for a good film.
Yeah, I think it looks really like again, unlike any other superhero movie, it's kind of like from like the younger perspective and like what would you do? You are got a superpower, good or evil.
That
It's
style
kinda
of
like,
film is pretty neat too, where it's almost like it's shot on like a home video camera.
Yeah,
That's
a
what
lot of it
seems
looks like
It's hit and miss for me, but that's
Jordan's
just
a
my
critic
opinion.
over
what
there.
was
That's
what was the
cool.
one with the monster?
Cloverfield.
That one's.
Oh,
hit,
yeah.
Is that one hit or miss?
That one I think was mostly miss.
Oh,
I think
really?
I think it had a cool concept, but I just couldn't get into it. I think it would have been better if they kind of added some production value to it.
What about the ghost one? Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that's the one I was gonna
I've
ask.
never
like that
seen-
one.
I've never
That one
seen
is
any
awesome.
of them.
I don't know. I don't
too
know what
afraid
I
of
thought of
ghosts.
those movies. Like when I'm watching that, I'm just like, when's the scary stuff gonna start happening here? And it just never
Brett's
did.
just, like, lying
it
back,
just
just
absolutely never
bored.
did. And I was at the show with a girl, and she's scared. Like
Crap in her pants.
my arm
scared,
is
eh?
sore that she's clinging to this. My arm so hard, and I'm just
like-
I can't understand why she's scared. I just didn't get
Nothing's
those
happening.
ones.
No.
So, what else we gonna talk about? Some
We
Star Wars,
we can
maybe?
do one more. You can talk about Star Wars.
I don't have much to say. We already touched on this. I'm going to probably go see it, even though I own the VHS of it because
So
I'm
that's-
so far behind in the
I'm down.
technology.
Which is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom
Yeah.
Menace. It's in 3D now
You
because
apply
George
the-
Lucas just has to release it in 3D, of course.
Oh yeah.
Gage applies the same, gaming system values as
Yeah.
he does to, VCR.
Still got the VHS.
Well, that's part of his whole electronics thing, right? Like the VHS is still kicking around.
Compared to Caveman, I'm really far ahead in the technology.
Yeah, you're doing all right, I guess. Eh?
Hey, I'm working this complicated board back here. Cut me some slack.
That's true. That's true. You are working that. Oh.
But you do struggle to, press play on my DVD player.
I know,
if you
it's
come
so
over.
funny. I'm like,
that's brutal.
I'm like, how do I work this thing? But
There's a big play button.
no setting levels, setting up mics. I can do that, but give me a DVD player. I'm a little bit lost.
You're done? You're lost? You're good? Okay. I have to cut you guys off because we're literally running overtime now. So that's our podcast for the week. We'd love to hear your opinions about the topics we talked about today, so feel free to email us at deviewpodcast@gmail.com or post a comment. You can find us on Twitter. Deview Podcast is simply at Deview Podcast. I'm at Curtis Paradis.
I still don't have a Twitter account.
I'm at jmurd117.
At Gage C. Fletcher.
And don't forget to check out deviewpodcast.com. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will be back. Oh, messed that up a little bit. We'll be back next week for another episode. Until then, you'll have yourself a great day, night, or whatever it is, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this. There we go. I got through that. See you guys later.
Bye.